In the heart of a bustling city stood Lincoln Middle School, a place where hope and despair intermingled in the lives of its students. Among the many dedicated educators who walked its hallowed halls, none bore the weight of their students' futures more heavily than Ms. Emily Thompson. Emily, a middle-aged woman with kind, tired eyes, had been a teacher at Lincoln Middle School for over a decade. She had watched generations of students pass through her classroom, each one bringing their unique stories, challenges, and dreams. Teaching was her calling, her passion, and the source of both her greatest joys and deepest sorrows. The first bell of the day rang, signaling the beginning of another school day. Emily stood at the front of her classroom, adorned with colorful posters and students' artwork, all aimed at creating an inviting environment. Her heart was heavy, as she knew the challenges that lay ahead. Her class was a microcosm of the school's diversity, a blend of backgrounds, abilities, and needs. Some students arrived eager to learn, their eyes shining with curiosity. Others carried the heavy burdens of poverty, troubled homes, or disabilities. It was this tapestry of lives that Emily embraced, but it was also the source of her daily struggle. Among her students was Daniel, a quiet boy with a penchant for drawing. His family had recently lost their home, and he had been living in a shelter with his mother and two younger siblings. Despite the challenges, Daniel clung to his dreams of becoming an artist. Emily had always believed in the power of education to break down barriers and transform lives. She knew that she couldn't change the circumstances of her students' lives, but she could give them the tools to shape their futures. That was her mission, her driving force. As the day unfolded, Emily faced a multitude of challenges. She juggled teaching math to students who struggled to grasp basic concepts, comforting a girl who had been bullied, and finding a way to engage a boy with ADHD who could barely sit still. She often stayed late into the evening, grading papers and planning lessons, determined to provide her students with the best education possible. But it wasn't just the academic hurdles that weighed on Emily's heart. It was the knowledge that some of her students faced obstacles that no child should ever endure. She knew about Lily, a quiet girl who had confided in her about the abuse she suffered at home. Emily had reported it, as she was obligated to do, but she couldn't shake the feeling of helplessness that lingered in her soul. At times, Emily felt like she was carrying the world on her shoulders. The weight of her students' dreams and struggles pressed down upon her, threatening to crush her spirit. But she couldn't give up. She couldn't let her students down. She had seen too many of them overcome seemingly insurmountable odds and go on to achieve greatness. As the school day came to a close, Emily reflected on the day's triumphs and defeats. She knew that her journey as a teacher was a long and arduous one, filled with moments of despair and moments of hope. She also knew that she couldn't do it alone. She needed the support of her fellow teachers, the school administration, and the community to make a real difference in the lives of her students. With a heavy heart and a determined spirit, Emily left her classroom, ready to face another day of challenges and triumphs. She knew that the struggle would be ongoing, but she was committed to being a beacon of hope for her students, to be the teacher they needed, and to carry their burdens as her own. Little did she know that the next day would bring a new set of challenges, testing her resolve and determination in ways she could never have imagined. But for now, as she walked through the empty halls of Lincoln Middle School, she held on to the belief that education had the power to change lives, and that she was a vital part of that transformative process. The next morning dawned with a gray sky that seemed to reflect Emily's somber mood. She arrived at Lincoln Middle School, her heart heavy with anticipation. She knew that each day brought fresh challenges, and she was ready to face them head-on. As she walked into her classroom, Emily couldn't help but notice the hushed whispers among her students. It was clear that something was amiss. She took attendance and tried to carry on with her lesson plan, but the unease in the room was palpable. During a break, one of her students, Sarah, approached Emily hesitantly. Tears glistened in the corners of her eyes. Sarah was known for her vivacious spirit, her infectious laughter, but today, she seemed weighed down by an invisible burden. "Ms. Thompson," Sarah began, her voice trembling, "something happened to Daniel. He didn't show up for school today, and his mom didn't come to pick up his siblings from the shelter last night." Emily's heart sank. Daniel's absence was unsettling, to say the least. She had grown fond of him, not just as a student, but as a young boy with dreams of becoming an artist. She knew that his family had been struggling, and this sudden disappearance was deeply concerning. She called the school administration and learned that they were already aware of the situation. They had contacted the authorities and were doing everything they could to locate Daniel and his family. Emily felt a mix of relief that action was being taken and an overwhelming sense of helplessness. Throughout the day, her classroom felt emptier without Daniel's quiet presence and the sketches he used to leave on his desk. The worry about his safety gnawed at her, and she couldn't concentrate on her teaching. Her students sensed her unease and asked questions, but Emily didn't have any answers to give them. After school, Emily stayed late to help coordinate efforts to support Daniel's family. She called shelters, social services, and even reached out to some local artists who might be able to offer assistance. The community rallied together, demonstrating the power of collective compassion. Days turned into weeks, and still, there was no sign of Daniel and his family. Emily and her colleagues grew increasingly concerned, holding meetings to discuss how they could support their missing student. They organized a fundraiser to help cover Daniel's family's expenses and spread awareness about their situation. The days without Daniel were long and heavy, but they were also filled with unexpected acts of kindness. Students who had never spoken to each other before began to bond over their shared concern for their missing classmate. Sarah, in particular, took it upon herself to keep everyone updated on the latest news about Daniel. One evening, as Emily sat alone in her classroom, she received a call from the school administration. Her heart raced as she answered the phone, fearing the worst. "Emily," the voice on the other end said, "we've found Daniel and his family. They're safe." Tears of relief welled up in Emily's eyes. She felt as if a heavy weight had been lifted from her shoulders. She quickly shared the news with her colleagues and students, and the entire school rejoiced. The reunion with Daniel was a bittersweet one. He returned to school, looking tired but relieved. He explained that his family had found temporary housing with the help of a local charity. Emily couldn't help but feel a deep sense of pride in her students and the community for coming together in their time of need. As the weeks passed, Daniel's drawings once again adorned his desk, and his smile slowly returned. The experience had left its mark on him, but it had also strengthened the bonds among the students and teachers at Lincoln Middle School. Emily learned that sometimes the struggle of a teacher extended far beyond the classroom walls. It meant caring for her students not only as learners but as individuals with complex lives and stories. It meant being a source of support, hope, and inspiration, even in the face of the darkest challenges. And so, the unseen bonds that connected the students and teachers of Lincoln Middle School grew stronger, reminding them all that they were not alone in their struggles, and that together, they could overcome anything life threw their way. Emily knew that the road ahead would still be filled with difficulties, but she also knew that she had a community of resilient souls who were willing to bear those burdens together. In the intertwining tales of Ms. Emily Thompson, her students, and the resilient community of Lincoln Middle School, there are profound lessons to be learned. The power of compassion. This story highlights the incredible strength of compassion. It's a reminder that in times of struggle, a kind word, a helping hand, or a listening ear can make a world of difference. Compassion brings people together and fosters a sense of belonging and support. The resilience of the human spirit. The characters in this story faced unimaginable challenges, yet they found the inner strength to endure and overcome. It shows that the human spirit is remarkably resilient and can rise above adversity when supported and nurtured. The importance of community. Lincoln Middle School exemplifies the idea that a strong and caring community can be a lifeline during tough times. When people come together to support one another, they create a network of love and solidarity that can weather any storm. The role of education. Ms. Emily's dedication to her students underscores the transformative power of education. Education isn't just about facts and figures, it's a beacon of hope that can change lives and create opportunities, even in the face of challenging circumstances. Never giving up. The story illustrates the importance of perseverance and not giving up, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable obstacles. It shows that, with determination and a supportive community, one can find the strength to keep moving forward. The beauty of unseen bonds. Sometimes, the most profound connections are the ones we can't see. The bonds formed through shared experiences, empathy, and kindness can be the strongest of all. These unseen bonds can carry us through the toughest of times. In the end, this story serves as a heartfelt reminder that life's struggles are a part of the human experience, but they are best faced with compassion, resilience, and the unwavering support of a caring community. It's a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to triumph over adversity and find hope in the most unexpected places. Thank you for joining us on this inspiring journey today. If you enjoyed this story and want to be part of our supportive community, please consider subscribing to our channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest stories of hope and inspiration. Your support means the world to us, and together, we can continue sharing these meaningful stories. Thank you, and see you in the next video.